try and get that lined up. There we go. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to today's live feed. It has been...
Day then.
yeah, I had a viewer on our channel ask where you've been. Why is Melissa not in the videos? So why don't you tell them what you've been up to?
Oh. You didn't know. You didn't tell. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna.
Well, there's a school part.
So I get the kids to school, and then I teach preschool, and then I also work at an elementary school. There's a lot of school happening, and then I get home, make supper, and do my school because I'm in college as well, doing courses. So there's a lot of school happening for me.
She has 3 classes right now, plus a full-time job, plus trying to do YouTube.
Yeah, but the YouTube part is super fun for me. So, I mean, it's literally like hanging out with friends.
So if you haven't seen her in recent videos, it's because she's been super busy. But that doesn't mean that her heart isn't still with me.
I just had a video out very recently.
I know. I'm laughing because part of the topic that we're covering off today is what do you think about all these cars showing up?
I feel like we've had this, like people ask all the time because this isn't the first car that's shown up.
Yeah, this is true. It's not the first car.
Alexander will fix a car and then he takes that money from whatever we sell that car for to get the next one and so on and so on. So, I mean, the car will come home. I know he's going to fix it and it's going to go towards something else. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a big shocker for me. I remember it was like, wow.
Yeah,
we had no comments. No comments were coming through and I thought that's strange.
And then it was they all came through.
All the comments all at once. So if we didn't see your comment, I apologize, but it was a blur of words.
Yeah. Anyway, these cars, the reason why I end up with these oddball cars.
Well, kind of awesome cars, not necessarily oddball. They're pretty cool.
Well, the I said is kind of odd, but cool. First off, I like old cars, if that's not obvious.
I mean, it's interesting. At least he could have a very boring hobby.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything really boring about our lives.
No, she's really, everybody says Melissa's a saint. I don't know if that's...
Why does everybody call you a saint? And I said, because they're so observant.
I don't think I was that bad to live with.
No, it's not that. They just think that... I think it just depends on where somebody's coming from. I know that Alexander's not just running around buying cars all the time. He has a plan, and I trust that he knows what he's doing. Or at very least, even if he doesn't know what he's doing, he can get us out of whatever he's gotten us into. So, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to check out comments too. I see Zenobia.
Okay. Zenobia's on.
Hi, Zenobia. Sorry, everybody.
Which means Hans is probably nearby. When I go to look at antiques and collectibles at someone's house, a lot of times it's an estate issue or a challenge where they're trying to clear a lot of things off a property. And a lot of people collected things, like myself, collected cars too. And when I go to these houses, there's oftentimes a car in the garage. And if it's a car that I like, I can't say no. And sometimes even if it's a car I don't like, but the price is right, I still can't say no. That's how these cars follow me home.
It's not like we have, I just about said, it's not like we have a lot of cars, but right now there are a few projects.
There's too many. We don't have enough storage space. I am actually stressing about storage.
This is a current, like this isn't the first time he said those words.
But I'm probably, the sad thing is, if I want to build this addition on the side of our building, which is something I want to do, I'm going to have to sell off all these cars. And when that time comes, you know, it'll be sad. Then my storage issue won't be so bad anymore. But
they follow me.
Yeah, it's more important for me to look at investing in that property where our store is. We don't have the funds to do it, but I've got all these cars. Hopefully, I can do something with them. But that Alpha, how I came about that, if you go back in through the videos that I did a couple years ago, I went to a fellow's place named Vern. It was the Royal Tour car. I went there to go look at that car and acquire it for a museum. If you haven't watched that episode, go back in our backlog of videos to about 2 years ago, and you'll see a big 39 Buick limousine that was owned by King George or used by King George.
And Vern is super nice.
Vern is amazing. He's a nice guy. Anyway, when I went to go look at that car, this parkade, Wonderland Parkade, was full of all kinds of stuff, from old Carmen Ghia convertibles to crashed up Alpha to BMW Isetta. And many of the people, oh, thank you.
God, what are you drinking?
Brenda's asking what this is, or Melissa's, yeah.
Usually I'm drinking water or tea, but today I'm having a beer. And I really debated.
This is a very old drink. It's called absinthe, but it's what artists would have had to drink, you know, in the 1900s or so.
It reminds me if you dunked a highlighter in water for a while. Look at it, like.
Yeah, it's kind of a sweet licoricey tasting drink. Anyway, when I went to this parkade full of cars, I'm going to get to that. I asked, you know, I can't just go and look at a car and then see all these different things that are sitting around and not ask about them. So I left offers on a couple of the vehicles and ended up with 2 of them. And then this third Alpha was the same owner as the people that I bought the crashed up Alpha from last year. Now that car, I've had a few project cars come in and then they've sort of disappeared. And some of you might have noticed the race car, the little race car that I had. I guess the first one that I did, the Mercedes ambulance, that was too rough. I didn't do a follow-up video because I sold it on eBay. I got my money back out of the car. But that was my first big YouTube video, so it was worthwhile for that, but it would have killed me for the cost of renovation. The little race car I was working on, it kind of got stalled out sitting in a friend's waiting for body work, and I need storage, so it had all just a few weeks ago. Didn't have a chance to get rid of, to get that finished. The crashed Alpha, same thing. I had a friend who saw it, wanted to restore it, had the means to restore it, and ended up buying it. She traded me for an old motorcycle I had, a 56 BMW R25. I got that back, plus a little bit of cash, got rid of the car. Well, now I have this other Alfa Romeo. And I think, boy, it's going to be a really nice car once it's done. So I ordered little parts. I think it's like a convertible top. I've got a hubcap coming for I have to put an ignition switch. But it is a fairly valuable car once it's all done. So it'll be worthwhile for it to sorry, I was just trying to follow some of the comments. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile once it's all done. So I'm kind of debating right now. I got in at a fairly low price point, and there's still a lot of room left on it for me to invest in the car before I start getting over my head on it. And that's the point you have to consider with the vehicle, any car we get. I kind of look at what's the car worth if I sell it, and what are we going to have to put into it. It's going to be very dicey to get our money back out of the Rolls Royce, but we're still at a break-even point even after paint. So far, okay on that one. But the Alpha, it's a no-brainer. I got it relatively inexpensively. It's worth a fair bit of money when it's done. I think I can get it running and driving and actually just drive the car. It's really solid. I think it'll be a good driving car once I get it back together.
Are you looking for any Alpha parts?
Yeah, I'm looking for an ignition switch.
So individual
I'm looking for
one
sun visors.
said I have a ton of Alpha parts.
Oh, well, individual one, if you have a ton of Alpha parts specific to a Duetto, please message me or email me, because I am looking for parts for this car to try and get it up and on the road. That would be really cool if you've got those. Yeah, so I don't know, is it that tough to put up with me in these
No, did
cars?
you get like a lot of comments on your last video? Because you
No,
mentioned
just
it?
the occasional one. I often...
Obviously that bothers him because he wouldn't have mentioned it. So.
Well, it's the Melissa is a saint thing all the time.
Well, no, believe I
But
don't
she
get that.
is. I mean...
I'm a saint, am I?
Well, you put up with me. I am so bad, apparently, that they will make somebody a saint just for putting up with me. That's what...
maybe it's because
Hello.
it's so like...
Yeah.
It obviously bothers you. There's nothing to put up with. It's if you want to work on a car.
Wait, did you just say publicly that there's nothing to put up with me?
Okay, I'm a liar. So much for my sainthood.
That's right. The perfect husband.
I don't
She
think
has
it's
nothing
that.
to put up with
I
at
don't
all.
think it's about putting up with people. I think that everybody gets to choose the way that they act and want to do things, and we get to choose how we act and do things. So if Alexander, if it makes him happy to find a car, fix it up, let you guys in on the story, I don't see any harm in that. And it's not me putting up with anything. It's watching him discover his story and what he wants to do. And I think I'm lucky to be a part of that. So
Aw.
I know. That's my saintness coming out there for you.
Yeah.
I don't by any means think that I'm a saint on that note. So.
But all the car guys that watch, the other side of it is too, is that a lot of our lady viewers will say Melissa's such a saint for putting up with all the stuff that you do.
But I think in that case, it might be somebody that maybe they couldn't, if say their partner brought home a car and they couldn't afford it, and it put them in a space where maybe their lives would be worse because of it. Maybe they're thinking that.
I don't know, or
So,
it could be the guy who
know.
wrote me and said that he fixes up motorcycles and puts all the motorcycle parts in his dishwasher to clean them. I haven't done that yet. It was bad enough I put stuff in the sink, but
it wasn't in the sink. That wasn't the problem. I didn't really mind that so much, and it didn't stink.
Wait, am I about to get in trouble here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Here goes my sainthood. There was like this. It's like a no chemical rust removal thing. I don't know if Alexander put it on his vlog or not. And so it's not a chemical. You leave it in this bath and it gets rid of the rust. But he was doing it to the seatbelt, and the fabric part of the seatbelt was laying on the cupboard. So all of it leached out, and then all over my cupboard. I came in and I could smell rust in the house. And I looked and it was all, I mean, it just wiped up.
It's environmentally friendly.
Yeah, well, I saw it wasn't a chemical, so I didn't mind as much. So at least you're being safe when it comes to stuff like that. When you do bring something in, it wasn't something harsh, some crazy chemical.
Yeah. If I was a bachelor, it'd be a hot mess around here. There'd be a motorcycle in the living room. There'd be all kinds of things
We've
going
had
on.
a motorcycle in our living room on that note, with him married, so.
Yeah, this is true. But now, on Monday, I've made the decision to finally get a proper, Evaporust. They actually sponsored us to do a video once. If you go back in our backlog of videos, you can see an Evaporust video. It works really good.
Tom's not good.
I've decided to get a heater put in the garage because I'm sick of working in the cold out there. The little space heater I have, if I leave it on all day, it'll take the edge off where it's maybe plus 5 degrees Celsius, so it's not freezing.
Well, that's pretty good still compared to what it is.
But it's not comfortable where you'd want to hang out. I want it so nice that I would want to hang out in there. Just, my thing. And it's not nice right now. I have to build, it's my doghouse. That's where I go.
But do I ever say you need to go to the garage?
No.
You, out to the garage. If anything, I want to spend as much time as possible
She's
with
giving me the
Alexander.
look without saying the words, though.
But not for you to leave. I don't
No.
like when...
She
I
just
like
gives me
to
the,
be
what
able
are
to-
you doing?
But I would prefer to spend time with you than you be gone.
Oh,
It's true.
well, I feel the same way.
Oh, well, I'm not sure what you feel the same way about.
About spending time with you. Instead of asking you to leave to my garage, I guess.
You, to the garage, polish the car.
Yeah. Anyways, heater is coming on Monday. I'm going on 2 adventures over the next couple of days. I have one to go on tomorrow, and I don't know if she'll let me film. She's actually a viewer of ours, and I don't know if Jackie's watching right now. Perhaps not, but I'm going to Jackie's house tomorrow. She's a fellow antique enthusiast, and I think she's got some stuff to thin out. Everything from old motorcycles to advertising signs. She collected all the cool stuff, the stuff that I like.
I have my, just for anybody wondering, I have my computer sitting off to the, I looked up and I saw myself just staring.
Yeah, Melissa's sort of
I'm looking
moderating
at
right
the
now too.
Comments, I'm trying to catch some.
Pierre,
What
it is
time?
9 p.m. Mountain Time where we are. I don't know that the mountains know what time it is, but we give them a time, and that's what they abide by. It's 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, upcoming things that are happening. Let's see. Well, the Alfa Romeo is sitting in the garage right now, and I'm just waiting on parts to show up so that I can get that thing more together. I'm gonna investigate taking the gas tank out of it, probably on a future episode, and see if it needs cleaning, what kind of shape it's in. I think they parked it with an empty tank, which is good, because it doesn't smell stinky like bad gas. It just looks empty. And that was the case with the Cadillac too. That car was parked on it with an empty tank, and I was able to just put gas in there and get going. Oh, Edward, thank you so much. Edward Reinhardt says he loves our YouTube
Are you
channel.
missing the badge on the Alpha? Hey, Peg Dude.
There is script, I believe, that said Alfa Romeo that was meant to go in the trunklet. I don't have that. I do have a little Farina badge for the trunk. So I'm missing a few little odds and ends here and there. It's odd. So it was a complete car, and then they started to restore it. I'm sure in that garage where they pulled it from, there was probably a box of spare parts with the bits that I was missing or that I need there. But you know, the house is sold, and like I said, I had to buy the car sight unseen. That's the scary thing when you buy a car sight unseen. I get a phone call, and Vern says to me, "Oh, hey Alex, I got a phone call from a fellow. He's got an old Alpha sitting in a garage, and they didn't, you know, it's been sitting there for a really long time. We have to unbury it, and are you interested?" And I said yes. And then you know, then you have to figure out a price, and they couldn't really send me a whole lot of pictures, so I didn't know if it had an engine, a drivetrain. They told me there was a blown engine sitting in the garage. So, but you know, sometimes you take a risk on these things, an educated risk, and based on the body style and the type of car it is, I figured why the heck not? Now it's at our house, and a pretty cool looking car. If you haven't watched the video that I put out this morning of me polishing the car, it took, I would say, about 6 hours total from the time we pushed it in to the time it was polished. I did it over 2 days, but I did it about 3 hours both days. Didn't take that long to get it polished and cleaned up. You know, 6 hours can undo 36 years of grime and dust and corrosion. It ended up looking pretty good.
Pierre, if you sent an email and you didn't get any kind of response, a lot of times, sometimes it could get lost in all of the emails or go to junk mail. I don't know how it decides what's junk and what's not, because I found actual questions and stuff from customers in those emails. So please drop us an email again, and don't give up hope. We're not ignoring you on purpose.
Yes, I do apologize if I don't get back in time.
It's hard. Like, even with, I have much less emails than Alexander, and even trying to catch up, they get out of hand very fast, and people get pretty annoyed pretty fast too. So then you're trying to put out fires as well. So we're trying our best. We don't want to intentionally ignore anybody. You all mean a lot to us. So don't give up hope. Just if you had a question you didn't hear back from us, email us again, be that squeaky wheel, and we'll make sure to get an answer out to you. Okay,
there was a couple questions there. One, a person was asking, oh, now I've completely lost it.
Thank you, James. It's because the comments all of a sudden jumped.
Yeah, they jumped and skipped by.
Hi, Heather, and Matthew, and
well,
James.
I guess while I'm thinking of it, a friend, Jonathan, who's east, was asking me about my Seiko watch, and proudly, I got the correct dial put back on this watch. When I got the watch, it was in pieces, and I didn't know which dial was for which watch. Which watch was which? Which is, if a witch wore a watch, which would wear a watch? That's what watch a witch would wear. Anyway, I got the new dial, and so now it's all proper. This is probably my favorite watch. I prefer wearing this old Seiko over top of wearing like a nice old Rolex or anything. It keeps perfect time, and it looks spiffy. I am an old watch guy and an old car guy, but anyway.
Well, it needs a new car. I had the option to have a new car, and I turned it down. I know. I like my old Volvo.
Yeah, she tried the new one out.
There's things that it most definitely needs to be repaired, or I have repaired on it, but I really like it. I don't know what's with me.
Oh, Susan's asking, she said she sent an email about the inkwells. I had one person buy about 25 of those inkwells off of me, and I've sold a few throughout. I do have some inkwells left. When in doubt, just call the store. We are open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 to 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. If I don't respond back through Facebook or Instagram or by email, just call us at the store. It's
a real store, so it's easier that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to answer. Somebody said, is Josh still making you a coffee table? I guess you'd have to ask Josh about that. He said he is. He asked me to record a song specific for this video, and I did. But
no pressure, Josh.
But then he's like, he wanted there to be drums in it, and I don't play the drums. So I said, well, you'll have to get creative, and you'll have to make like a rhythm for the entry of the song. And he's like, dude, I can't do that. I'll just use something else. And I'm like, I just spent like a whole night recording a song for him. Anyway, he said he's going to be working on a table for me.
I think when you were talking about having the type of beat in the background, I kind of imagined Josh being able to edit that anyways. Like, I imagined him doing
I thought he was just going to edit it in.
Yeah.
I gave him the whole
but it is extra work. It is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brenda. She said the car looks amazing. I just took a fast forward look at today's video. I haven't even seen today's video. You're good.
Yeah. Oh, thanks again.
And Heather's on.
Okay. The table that Josh is making for us is a trade that we did one day. Um, last, I guess it was last summer. Last summer, my brother-in-law Patrick and I went out to an abandoned general store. I think the video is called Ghost Town General Store. And we were invited to go look around this fallen down 100-year-old general store out in the middle of nowhere in a kind of ghost town. And on the floor was this massive sort of plaster, I don't know, fiberglass Archie Andrews from Archie Comics head. And of course I bought it because I'm like, well, that's cool. And so I had it at the store and it was sitting up on a shelf and Josh walks in and he looks up and he's like, dude, I gotta have that. That's not my best Josh impression, but he said something like that. I'm almost quoting probably for verbatim. Dude. And so I'm like, well, cool. How about this? I don't want to charge you any money for it. I could use a table. Like, because I had, well, I don't want to give it away because I think he's going to make a video out of it, but I had something really cool that he was going to make a table out of. And he said, sure, I'll do that. And that was like, well, that was at my old store. So that was about 6 months ago. But he's a busy guy, and I know he's doing other stuff, but I'll have to, he apparently waiting for this loan from which I've since provided, and now he's going to use something else.
It's awesome, regardless.
It'll be
whatever
good.
ends up happening. It'll be good.
I don't want to give away whatever his
No.
video is going to be. You'll have to check it out.
Alex, did you ever check out the auction in Texas that was selling signs? I emailed you and wrote in the comments about it. Oh yeah, we did. You did look into
I
it,
did
didn't you?
look at the auction site, yes, but shipping and that sort of thing would have been quite difficult. I reached out to the auction house, and I think shipping across the border might have been challenging.
It would have been hard to resell, and once we had to have the extra price.
Yeah.
Now I forget what they're talking about absinthe. Somebody wrote, oh, hold on, I almost went right to the comment.
I'm not drinking a hallucinogenic drink by any means.
And plus, it's super watered down. So, I mean, it said, my fiance drank it many years ago, Caitlin. Woke up naked on the bathroom floor with the door locked and alone in his apartment. No recollection of what happened.
Well, that's...
Somebody said they just drank too much.
Somebody was not doing something right.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Anyway, we're not condoning or encouraging
No.
that whatsoever.
No.
Anyway,
No, of
that's
course
just
not.
what's happening here tonight. Is we're unwinding on a Saturday night.
Did you see the
Did not
Houdini?
see the Houdini collection. That would have been really cool. Oh, Phil Klein. Hello, Phil. Phil, I chatted with on the phone. Wonderful human being. And you can tell right away when you talk to somebody. Hey, two things I know about Phil. One is he's a cool guy because he was a magician. What?
That's cool.
Right. But he owned a store selling magic supplies. So encouraging that the wonder in kids and adults and doing tricks and things. He's the one that bought that really cool arcade, that dirigible blimp sort of arcade game that I got. So that made its way out to him. But no, Phil, I didn't see the Houdini collection. That would be really cool. I'm hoping, by the way, my store, I want to fill it with the most amazing curiosities and the most amazing antiques. And if I have new stuff, it's got to be really cool too. I don't want just run-of-the-mill sorts of things. I really want over-the-top crazy stuff. And, I would love to have something like, like Houdini's straitjacket or something crazy in there. I've already got a few interesting things that people come and look at. Not everybody comes in to buy that kind of stuff, but it's fun to have it there for people to see. I'm sure that was an amazing auction. Would love to check that out. Let's see, we'll try and answer a few questions here tonight too, because we haven't had a chance to do that lately. I guess maybe I'll give an update while I'm chatting and waiting to see. Melissa, maybe see if there's any questions to see.
I saw it and then I had to delete somebody and now I've been distracted.
Okay. We've been doing these auctions of those toys for quite some time now, and yeah, it's been going quite well. I think we're nearing the end of it, though. I think they're down to maybe 5 or 6 skids left, so we'll be through the last. I've had, excuse me, I've run cough. We've had a lot of people ask, like, what happened to all the toy warehouse stuff and that. We're still selling it. Every single weekend we sell a batch of that stuff, and
Little by little, it's going.
yeah.
I have 2 things from Bob. He asked, one's a comment, was a question. One was how's the Cadillac doing? Bob was interested in the Cadillac.
Bob, okay. Bob the bottle man, Bottle Bob, Bob's Bottles. Hi, Bob. You might see Bob in some of the videos. He comes and hangs out at the
And
store.
he has his own channel now as
And
well.
he's got his own YouTube channel talking about some of the stuff that he's picked up. The Cadillac, I've not been driving it in recent videos, and some of you have been asking, well, what happened to the Cadillac? About 2 weeks ago, I would say, the water pump. Well, that's not what I didn't know it was a water pump at first. I went to start the car and it's just spewed antifreeze all over the place. It ended up being the water pump. Took it in. The shop I took it to ended up, let's see, they sent off the water pump to get repaired, and now I was waiting on gaskets. They got them yesterday, which means I should be getting the Cadillac back on Monday, and I'll be back to driving my Cadillac. I have been driving the Ghostbusters car. The ambulance is my daily vehicle. If I need to go get groceries from the store, I'm taking a Ghostbusters car. If I need to go to Home Depot to pick up screws, I'm taking a Ghostbusters car. And guess what gets a lot of attention? Driving a Ghostbusters car. On the one hand, it's been great for advertising. On the other hand, you have no privacy whatsoever. I was in a rush, and you're on your way somewhere, and people are like, "Whoa, what's up with the car?" And then you're like, my usual thing is like, "Yeah, it was." And people think I built it, by the way. People think it was like a normal car that I really customized. They're like,
decals on.
"You must have spent a crazy amount of money building that thing." I'm like, "No, this is like all factory. I can't imagine what it would cost to make a normal car look like that." It wouldn't be worth it. But no, it was all I did is stick Ghostbusters stickers on the door. But I vacuumed it out. If you watched the episode the other day, or just that I put out today, when I was vacuuming the interior at the car wash because it was long overdue, I inadvertently set off the sirens.
In the car, in an enclosed car wash.
But it was on a weird setting that I'm not, like, it has wail and it has whoop, so it does whoop, 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 and it does woo. That's my ambulance impression. Anyway, it did this other weird siren that I didn't even know it made that sound. And so when I set off the siren, I was like, what's that? Like, surely it can't be me. And then after like what felt like 5 minutes, but was probably 3 seconds, my brain was like, that's you. You're the one making all the noise. And then I'm scrambling and I can't remember exactly what I did and I'm like reaching up where the lights are and I'm like, oh, what button did I hit? And I finally figured it out. It was probably 20 seconds.
And there's other people in this car wash.
It's an indoor car wash with people in there, so the sound is like reverberating on the walls. But here's the thing. Okay, I set off a really loud siren in a Ghostbusters car in a fairly crowded car wash. I turn the switch off and I don't even see anybody. I'm like, ugh, and I just yell, I'm sorry. Like some 5-year-old kid who's just spilled milk all over the table. I'm like, I'm sorry. Anyway, I get out and I kind of like, I put the vacuum away and I peek around the corner to see. Everybody's pretending like they didn't see or hear anything. They're like,
pooped their pants.
Yeah, I'm sure if I look closer, somebody would have like their pants on the little floor mat clip, washing them off from having soiled themselves from being afraid of the siren going off. But that was, I don't know. It was less weird that I set off a siren in a car wash, and more weird to me that nobody said a darn thing. A car wash full of people, not one person was like, dude, or like, what's wrong with you? Or that was loud, or I'm surprised that thing still works. Nothing. They were all being completely normal, like nothing had gone on. Apparently I can get away with a whole lot. Like people look the other direction. Probably because if you're the guy who pulls into a car wash driving a Ghostbusters car, they're like, that guy's already a wackadoo. I'm not even gonna make eye contact with him. I'm like the guy on the bus where you're like, ooh, don't sit next to them. That was me at the car wash. Anyway, that happened. And I had an awkward moment.
So a lot of people, I say that all the time. That happened. Apparently, if I have merch, they want a shirt that says that happened.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Did happen. Nothing can be done about it.
So Evelyn says, Alexander and Melissa, are you obtaining cars for when your children obtain their licenses? And I feel like we'll help them to find a vehicle, but I think we're going to make sure that they help to pay for their own vehicles so that they have a sense of, ownership and, they actually earn it for themselves. So we're not just giving it to them, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, Stephen will just have to save up his art money. He's versed in life.
Yeah. I just saw somebody's comment saying, I'm going to do a impressive voice. This guy, he gets $1 million storage unit. That's your voice. I don't know what your voice actually sounds like. It's probably like this. So this guy gets $1 million storage unit and He's still complaining about money for cars and so forth. I didn't keep any of that stuff. So there you go. That's why we're
Oh,
not,
a whole bunch
you
of
know,
people are being.
yeah.
The thing is that some people don't know, so it is easy to.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. It does look like that, and
Yeah. Well,
we get that all the time, though. People will be like, actually, people think that, right?
Yeah. Well, anyways.
But it's good because, I mean, at least a lot of people, especially our followers, and once you do follow for a while, you realize that we are just regular people. And I think that that's extremely important because then whatever we're doing, you most definitely can do it too. We're following our dreams. You can follow your dreams. We're not millionaires. We're just normal people. So, well, not normal, but I mean
abnormal people.
Abnormal, regular people.
Yeah, that said, I would say that our lives have shifted dramatically since following our dreams than before. I mean, you know, when you work a job and you do your day-to-day grind and you think that that's going to be the rest of your life, and you put your money away. In the States, it'd be your 401k. Here, you put your money away for your retirement, and you think this is going to be my life until I retire. And then you don't. There's no guarantee how long any of us have. And I've lost too many loved ones and relatives and friends in the past couple of years. You know, you retire and then you get a couple of years and then they're gone. It's just crazy. So we're of the mindset that live your life now, because this is what you get is right now. And the minute that we started living our lives for right now is when everything started getting so much better for us.
It's very true. Yeah. It's that whole, if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same. It's very true. If you just keep plugging away and doing the exact same thing, nothing can change because you're not changing any variables. So I think it's very important to change it up. If you want things to change, you need to change them.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody out there, you know, I'm not saying everybody should leave their job. That would be horrible advice.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if there's things that you feel that you're missing from your life or things that you wish you could do, go do them. You know, if you want to get out more, get out more. If you paint more, play guitar, whatever you want to do, go do it.
Sometimes it does seem those that you really want to do feel impossible. The thing is that you have to change your mindset to know that it is possible. And what one step, there's Stephen from Stephen Draws.
Oh, hey, Stephen, you can come in.
But what is the one step you're going to take today that will take you one step closer to that mindset, to that goal, one step towards it. You don't have to, the impossible thing is always possible. And as soon as you realize that, you can start moving forward towards it.
And we're trying to encourage that with our kids too, with following their dreams and doing what they love to do. If you haven't gone on Steven's channel, do you want to type it in? Or Matthew, do you want to put it in?
Matthew's put it in.
You have to check out this youngster's art, because what would the young people say? It's lit.
Everybody's saying, hey, Steven.
Your art is so lit.
Hi.
Like they said, Mouse
that lamp is
OMG,
lit.
you know Stephen Draws. We know him. We created him.
Yeah, so you should subscribe to Steven's channel too if you haven't.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
I am over the moon proud of this kid, and
It's because I'm so awesome.
that's right, and he's so modest too.
I actually came down here to say hi to everyone, but I also, someone messaged me, they're like, hey, I'm on your dad's live stream, photobomb it.
Oh, there we go. So you got an official
so
photo
funny.
bomb.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steven is you're working on part 2 of Parrot, right?
Yeah, I'm putting it up. Abigail's working on her homework, but as soon as she's done, the video should be up by tomorrow, I think.
Okay. Well, you can stay up a little bit. Is she doing her homework on the computer upstairs? Okay. Well, see, this is real life. Kids are doing homework and waiting for the computer. It's nice though that they're waiting for the computer not to play video game, but to upload a video of their artwork. That's a better way to do it. Well, yeah. So you got to check out his channel too, if you haven't
Is
yet.
Stephen going to art school?
Nope.
Well, not yet.
I have a lot of people that follow Stephen that I'm friends with and work with at the schools, and they're like, "Oh, what kind of art programs is Stephen in?" Obviously, must be. Stephen just went downstairs and Parrot.
I'm self-taught.
I don't understand how his brain worked to know where the shading and stuff worked.
I just wing it.
It completely
Because it's a bird.
blew my mind. And I know a lot of parents probably say stuff like that, but I mean, I went down to do the, normal parent, like, oh, good job, honey. But no, I wasn't imagining to go down and have my mind blown.
Brenda says, what % growth in your lives is from the chase versus the result of YouTube putting yourselves out there on the line? But can you clarify a little bit, Brenda? She's asking what percentage of your
Growth and
Growth.
from the chase versus a result of YouTube. I mean, for
What-
us, I don't think we saw a lot of growth in our lives because of YouTube. I mean, we're able to help a lot more people because of YouTube. We were able to spread our message a lot easier having a platform. But I think the growth in our lives increased the most once we changed our mindset beyond YouTube and everything like that, right? And it kind of reinforces it too when we're able to help other people and we can see their lives changing for the better. It helps us to stay on that path because we can see it's helping everybody else and it's helping us. So
have Steven tell us how to find his channel.
Just look up Steven Draws. The profile picture is a flaming rubber chicken.
Is the chicken on fire, or
No,
is it shooting
it's-
flame out
It's
of it?
creating havoc.
Did it eat something spicy? Is that why there's...
Matthew, he's one of the
It just says
moderators.
fire
He has a
around it.
blue wrench, and his name is Blue.
Oh,
He put
Matthew's
it
gonna
up.
put the link.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you very much.
he just.
Yeah.
Oh, he on. Wait.
Okay, I'm gonna go and finish getting all my clips together.
Okay, he's gonna work on a video. Go to his channel, subscribe, because we have to get his watch time hours up so he can actually do this as his little part-time job.
I'm almost there.
He's so close. I think he needs like 500 more watch time hours, and then his channel is official.
Bob said, "Follow your passion, Stephen, because you have an amazing talent."
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Okay, somebody said, Alex, do you have any... See, bye, Steven. I'm saying bye to my own kid. He's just going upstairs. There is... is that Art's wife, Anne, is on?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say hi, Anne.
Hey, Anne. Anne, we never had a chance to meet you yet. I know your husband very well. I haven't seen Art in years, though.
I've been writing her on Instagram and stuff, and it's funny. I haven't met you officially yet. I don't know why.
Yes, for Anne who's watching, or maybe it's Art on his wife's. If it's Anne, many memories, Art, of driving in your Volkswagen Beetle when they first came out, listening to music that was far too loud, driving to nightclubs that were far too loud.
Yeah.
Back in the old days. That was funny. Okay, things that I want to actually pursue. The car thing is fun, but that's not really what I want to chase this year. This year, I want to do something amazing with the empty lot that's on our current property. I had a mission last year, and that was to sell the Potter's House and to sell our old store. Neither one of those things happened. But somebody did rent the Potter's House, and now, as of today, we signed with a tenant to rent our old store. So we end up being landlords, which just means that on the old store, somebody else is paying our mortgage for a few years, which is fine. But what I want to do is develop the land that I own where my general store is. Now, I have a vision of a not very big building, like a 2-story, 1,500 square foot base sort of idea for the main floor. Is my drawing book nearby somewhere?
I'm not sure where.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know where it is either. Anyway, so I had this vision to build a whole other little building there, and I thought, okay, well, I already own the land. If there's not going to be a basement, it can't cost. What's it going to cost? Maybe $100,000, something like that. I thought, well, maybe if I sell off every kind of car I have or every kind of thing I own, maybe I can raise the money for that. And I had a contractor whose name I'm not going to name because I wasn't particularly happy with the quote. This is what I asked for: cement foundation, basic sort of steel fireproof walls, one door on the front with glass windows on the front, and I want it to be sort of wood siding on the front to look like an old building. 1,500 square feet, not real big. Oh, any ideas? And that's not with any plumbing and just base electricity run into the building. Any ideas what that cost?
I know.
She knows. It was not 100,000. It was not even 60,000. They quoted me $800,000 to build what's essentially a 2-car garage that looks like a building. I thought to myself, that's the price from a contractor that really doesn't want the work, or maybe I have a misconception of what it costs to build a 2-car standalone garage. Essentially a pole barn, very, very basic. It's like an oversized 2-car garage, and I wanted the backside to look like an old store. $800,000. So I'm sitting in the office, and they're presenting the quote, and he's saying, well, we have to pour the foundation, we got to do the walls, and here's your quote. And I'm looking at the number, and I I'm silent because I'm trying to figure out where the decimal is meant to be. And I said, what is the amount? Because I can see it says 800,000, and I'm thinking maybe the decimal's in the wrong spot. Like maybe it's 80,000, maybe. He said, oh, you know, that's we figure. He's like, I do millions of quotes a year. And I'm like, well, you wouldn't have to do millions of quotes a year. You would only have to do 2 a year if you quoted properly. Anyway, so I just said, you know, that's probably not feasible considering I could go and buy like an entire block downtown of several buildings for that price versus building a 2-car garage for $800,000. So I think that quote was just crazy out to lunch. I would love, Hans, for you. I want to build Hans, Josh, Dakota, and get everybody back working on it. Even Dave. You know, I can't imagine the cost would be that high. That's Crazy Town. That is literally, I could buy Crazy Town for $800,000. So I'm kind of budgeting somewhere around 100,000 or so to build something on that lot. Because most value is usually in the land. If you already own the land and you're just building a pretty basic building, it shouldn't cost that much. Anyway, so I have to figure out what I want to do. And because I had the building designated a heritage site, I don't know if there's any, you know, any constrictions that I might run into. Yeah, so.
Does it sound weird for everybody? It's a couple people mentioned the sound. So I just, quick recap. I don't mind the cars coming home. I help push it in. It's actually really warm here, so it wasn't so bad. I pushed many cars like a helper pro. I have only ran my finger over once. But
she did
I
get
don't
run over
mind it
one
at all.
time.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my hand got run over.
We were loading a car onto the back of a trailer and
Their
it rolled
winch was
backwards.
broken, so we had to push it up, and I was blocking the wheel at the same time.
I feel bad about that.
And I had 2 because I didn't want it. I knew it was probably going to jump. So my plan was to take it and, you know, wedge it with 2 pieces of wood. But it did jump, and my hand got caught in between those 2 pieces of wood. And then I had to wait for that car to run my hand over that was sandwiched in between those 2 pieces of wood. And that doesn't hurt as much as you would imagine because tires have a lot of give. So.
375,000 somebody's saying for the building. That's still an awful lot.
It's $250 a square foot.
But I wonder, 250 square foot, I wonder if that includes all the finishing on the inside, because I just told them basic walls. It was going to be cinder block on a cement floor or steel wall, like whatever the cheapest was. So I'm strongly reconsidering what I'm supposed to do there. I was gearing up and hoping I might just do sort of a lean-to addition off the side.
But things always happen for a reason, right? Like, I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, whatever we're meant to do will end up showing up.
So you got called a saint again. He better be buying you dinner for running you over. I didn't run her over. The car, nobody was in the car.
That was kind of dumb on my part. That was me being inexperienced, thinking I knew better of how to block the car. The car, when it hit the bump on the ramp, it jumped and I sandwiched my hands. So actually, our neighbor ended up finishing helping put the car on that ramp, and Alexander took me to the hospital and sat there with me for so long.
Yeah.
So that was our hot date, the hospital trip.
At least we got to spend some time together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't got many other quotes yet. Honestly, that it popped my balloon a little bit thinking about how much money that would cost. And honestly, it's not in the cards right now to spend that kind of money on something. If I do it a little bit at a time, like if I did get a quote to get the foundation poured, and then maybe Hans and Josh and Dakota can come and help me to do the build, then perhaps it won't be so bad.
Yeah. They said buy our dinner anyways. Yeah, okay. Actually, you buy me dinner a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I know it should. My friend built a knife shop. Basically, what I wanted to do, built a nice shop out at his acreage. It was $65,000. So that's kind of what I was thinking it was going to be. So when I saw 800,000, I was like, that seems. Are we building a skyscraper? How many stories you put on it? Like, it was nuts. Anyway, so that contractor is not going. I'm sorry if you're watching. I didn't mention your name because I'm being nice, but that was pretty crazy. Hi guys, if you're watching. Now you just feel bad because you don't know who's watching.
You gotta, well, you know what? The truth is the truth sometimes, and you're not being rude. You're saying that was too much for us.
If they move their decimal over a little bit to the left, then we can chat. But otherwise, that's a little too much.
And maybe that's what they're used to charging, and they think that we're crazy for not being like, yes, best deal ever, right? So Who knows? That's
Yeah.
all. We don't have to. You can charge whatever you want for something. It's up to somebody to pay it or not.
Yeah, the problem is by putting a building there, it has to be of fireproof materials up to code because it's going to be so close to the neighbor's building. You can't put like there was thoughts, well, maybe I can move another building in, but you know, even if somebody gave me a building for free and I had to move it, the problem is it'd probably be a wood frame structure, and then that would be to code. Whew, almost spilled my drink. So that wouldn't fly either. I'm working on doing drawings and trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do now. But yeah, we're going to try and figure something out. That's what I want to do. I guess the long and the short of it is I want to expand my business. I want to make something really beautiful in that space. I want to do something wonderful, but I'm not going to go out of my head spending 800 grand on
Caitlin, you
building
actually
a
made me
garage,
laugh.
essentially. Yeah.
It was a word, a crocodootie.
Hmm.
With a T, crocodootie.
Somebody said you should get the guys that build houses in the mud. You talking about the guys that like go to the Amazon and they like dig a pit and then they have like a jacuzzi built out
they
of
said
Amazon rainforest? I'll get those guys to come.
They said ask Austin. He built that. What is it called? Like the house that he built, like the.
Oh, I know. Like Hans knows how to frame.
Yeah.
I know people who know how to do the work. It's just that I have to get approved engineers' drawings with the engineer stamp
Yeah.
on them before we proceed. So that's what's going to cost money is I have to hire an engineer to do the design, and then we have to build to the design. They won't just let me build all willy-nilly like. They won't give me a permit to build without it.
Dad said, do in-floor heating. Hi, Dad.
Yeah. You know, a part of me would like to build a little house there for my mom or something too, so that she could
Next
have.
to the store?
Sure, she could have a garden in the backyard. Big garden. She could live anyway.
I think we could.
Yeah,
I don't know if she'd want to be right next to the store.
maybe not. Anyway.
It is a beautiful neighborhood, though. As I'm saying that, it is a really nice neighborhood.
Oh, we have parks. There's a bike path out
But
front.
the people are amazing. Like, I mean,
I would live in that neighborhood. Yeah.
I mean, our neighborhood's pretty nice. Like our neighbors.
Oh, our
and everything
neighborhood's
are-
nice. Our neighborhood's just like
We look.
more
We
modern.
both looked out the window.
They're like, yeah, I guess
and
it's
like
all right.
Pitch black outside.
There's hardly any massive crime in our area.
No.
Okay, let's see, things that are happening this month. We are going to be going, I am. I guess Melissa's not coming this go around. She has school and the kids are here and stuff. I'm going to New York on February 21st. Melissa's been before.
Yeah.
You're not a huge fan of going to big cities though.
No. Well, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Well, not necessarily New York. It's just
I
big
don't
cities
mind.
in general.
I don't like. It's not. But I love people. So I'm that person that loves crowds. I love talking to all of you. I love all of this. Going to like farmers markets that are packed. That's fantastic for me. But I don't like having so little nature, and I don't like it to feel like a shopping mall. And to me, where we went in New York felt like a shopping mall, and the craziest, scariest traffic I've ever been in. So I'm good. I don't need to experience that again. But I love the people from New York. I just didn't like the terrifying cab ride that I experienced.
Everybody was nice. When we were there
Yeah,
last
like
time, though,
amazingly nice.
we were there immediately after 9/11, though, like within
Oh, yeah.
a few months of 9/11 when we went last time, and I think everybody was still kind of in shock. Oh, okay. Brenda's clarifying. Try to explain my question, but I can't figure out how to word it. Wait,
Oh, where are you?
scroll up a little bit.
Oh, there.
By growth, I don't mean financial, so never mind. Oh, okay. Well, Brenda, in terms of, I guess if I was, okay, I'm going to try and answer Brenda's question. She was asking about whether our growth happened from when we had the channel, YouTube affected that, or whether we felt differently, I guess, about our lives. I think it happened when I was working at my job. And I worked in the film industry for a while. I had artsy kind of jobs where I just fluttered around and did whatever, whatever job came up, and you work a movie for a few months and you go and work a different movie. So I was really used to that, and being around creative, artsy people. And when you go from that to being in a retail management environment, which is where I went, because there wasn't those types of jobs here. There just wasn't film work. They weren't doing productions here. So I went and got a job as a district manager and retail store manager for department stores. I don't know. I mean, you get to meet people, but you're meeting goals which seem, I don't know, they seem kind of silly. Like, did you sell our quota of paper towels this week? Like, that is a crisis. Or are you selling enough cookies in a tin at Christmas time? Like, that's everybody's on conference calls, and they're like, now did you try a stag? And then you get like some ace who's got a store who's doing well, and they're like, let's hear what Paul's doing at his store. And Paul's like, I built a pyramid out of cookies, and then I had Girl Scouts come and hand them away one by one. Well, Paul's sales are 33% more than the rest of your stores, and you're on a conference call for 2 hours about selling cookies. That was my life for years. And does it sound like fun? I suppose so. I don't know. It was all right. I mean, there
But
might
it
be a
wasn't
day.
in line with what you wanted to do.
It just, I don't know. I wanted to be creative. And
Yeah.
the thing that I don't want to make it sound like working that type of job isn't fun, because there was great opportunities I had to look at a store differently, where I could refixture or clean a store or make it look different. And I did a lot of visual merchandising. I am trained as a visual merchandiser as well for retail. So I like doing displays, and that felt creative and artsy and fun.
Yeah.
And then the people, of course, you're working with wonderful people and helping them in their careers. But I kind of got to a spot where I wasn't feeling super great about my job, and I was somebody's manager. I was a lot of people's manager, and then they'd come to me and they'd say, you know, I'm just feeling very complacent and not feeling great. I think I want to go, like, you know, take up dance. And I was like, yeah, you should probably go do that. And I'm thinking, you know, that's probably not the best advice to retain an employee, to tell them to go follow their dreams. But I just want people to go be happy. And I knew that the company line was to tell people to stay. And no, you work in the broom department. You should really be trying to sweep up the competition and selling more brooms, or whatever it was that they were doing. And I just wanted to see these young people that were working in these stores do well. And if you can imagine department stores, they have little areas that they work in, and there's not too much room for advancement. So I don't know. I think when it got to a spot where I was meeting with these people, and I couldn't, with my heart, I couldn't convince them that selling those brooms was the best thing for their lives. I knew that I was probably not doing the right thing myself with my life at that time. And maybe there'll be a time I have to go back to do, no, I shouldn't say have to go back. It's a privilege to be in a position like that. It was a good paying job, and I worked for a lot of wonderful companies. It just wasn't inspiring to me at that moment. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's a matter of perspective. Maybe I lacked perspective to feel inspired by the environment I was in. But
there's different things for everybody. I think what one person thinks is fantastic and it's the most amazing thing in the world. Another person will find that to be like the worst thing they could ever endure. It's just because we're all different. So what doesn't fit for Alexander most definitely will fit for somebody else, and vice versa. Some people could not imagine teaching preschool, but I love it. It's fantastic. So quickly, Kathleen, thank you. Kathleen said American Outback metal building with facade, and then she said afterwards, check them out on eBay, finished under 100,000.
No, yeah, I mean, what I want, if I build something on that site, I want it to look like it's as old as my store. I want it to look as though it's been there for 100 years as well. So whatever finish work I do on the facade has to be in keeping, but then you're only looking at a 20-foot by a 20-foot front facade that you have to worry about. I'm going to look at my options. Don't worry. I haven't given up on it by any means. That is my main goal of future things that I want to do, is build that building. I'm going to answer a question to Wolf Gray. He's saying, are there slow days at the store or just consistent? The days are always pretty consistent. There's people in the store pretty much at all times. We have people come in and visit, like our regulars, like Bob will come in and he'll hang out and we'll chat, or other people will come in and we'll hang out and chat. And then this is what happens. People come in and they visit, and people come in and buy stuff, and people come in and sell stuff. And some days I end up buying more stuff than I've sold, and other days I sell more stuff than I buy. Sometimes it works out, but people will walk in. It's like Pawn Stars. I should just put a disclaimer on my door that if they walk in, they'll be on camera, and I'll just show what happens at the store. The challenge is we have a lot of kids that shop at the store. Mm-hmm. We are I can't think of too many antique stores where kids are like dragging their grandparents into the antique store, like, yeah, Grandpa, you got to check this place out. This guy came in and he was with his grandson. I said, have you guys been through? He's like, no, my grandson comes in here all the time. He said, you got to come check this place out. And it's because I think I let them play the pinball machines, that there's, the fortune teller machine that they can play. There's candy for sale.
But you're also a dad. Like, you get the kids. Like, you want them to have that sense of wonder and grow up with that, right? Like, you're like their influence to experience that in their lives, possibly.
Yeah. So we are having a lot of fun with the shop, and it is like Pawn Stars in a sense, if you've seen that show, where people just walk in with random things for sale. So I never know what's gonna come through those doors. Jackie, whose house I'm going to tomorrow, she walked in with a wonderful old coin-operated Smartie dispensing machine, which I had never seen before. Really, really cool. I'm going to go to her place and hopefully find some cool stuff. And then you get your leads. That's what people always say to me, where do you get your leads to find antiques? And the truth is, if you don't have an antique store, or if you're not really active with advertising what you do, it is very difficult to get leads. I get people calling the store regularly with stuff for sale, or they want me to come by and see what they've got from an estate. And it's very fortunate. And honestly, that's the most fun part of my job, is going in the exploration side of it. When I'm out and I'm digging and I'm finding and I'm buying, that's my favorite part. And I guess the favorite part of having the store itself is creating interesting displays and having interesting items that make people feel that sense of wonder and take that item back to their home. I guess if it makes sense, my favorite part about running the store is to create an interesting environment. And we try and take great care in doing that and having lots of fun, interactive things around the shop.
So Colleen said, if I Google map your store, if you Google map Curiosity Inc. in Edmonton, it will take you to the store. The Google Maps is linked to our new store. So you won't be going to the old space and see what's in there now.
I think that the Google Maps Street View is from before it was renovated, though.
Yeah, but
So-
the Street View doesn't give a current depiction of what it looks like, but at the same time, it will take you to the right place.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Google, don't let me down. Another person was saying that they don't like retail. You know what, it's funny, I'm actually, so as much as I love teaching and I love YouTube and everything, before that, I was that retail person. And for me, I didn't see it as selling and stuff like that. I loved helping people find what they wanted, or be able to direct them in the way that they could go to make their lives easier. I was the person that loved it. So not as much as teaching, but it was all about helping people for me. If I started seeing it as quotas and selling stock, that would have been awful. But I was the person that I think liked retail.
Yes. I'm actually looking forward. Matthew is moderating for us right now. I'm just thinking, Matthew, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to meeting anybody who's coming to New York. I'm doing a meetup on the 21st at the Stagecoach Tavern. Yeehaw! I don't think they say yeehaw in New York, do they?
Briella, are you trying to make it my dad think that we're trying to get pregnant? I've got 3 kids. I'm good. And I have a whole classroom of kids. I've got it covered.
We're good. I have anxiety dreams that she's saying that we're expecting, and not that I love our kids, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, if we had to start right from the beginning again, we would make it work. But just the thought of that makes me so tired.
Zenobia Melissa is not pregnant.
No, I'm not pregnant.
Right?
No.
No, she wouldn't be drinking a
I
beer.
wouldn't be drinking a beer. Yeah, that's true.
Unless
That's
you're in
proof.
Europe and then they're like, hey, you're expecting, here's some champagne.
Believe me, I'm a little bit like Miss Rules. There's no chance I would be doing anything that could possibly hurt.
Yeah, no, Dave, no, you're not, no, you'll have to rely on your other children to
Dad,
have
are you
more
saying that you're
grandkids.
pregnant? Are you telling us? Pregnant?
Yeah, no, I said it was an
Who was that? Briella. What?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I bet she's laughing right now.
Yeah.
Stinker.
Yes. I'm very proud of the kids we have, though. We've got good kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, we are not having another baby. I don't want to be like the 90-year-old dad at the, pushing the store
You wouldn't
around
be. You
and
think
stuff.
you're 90 right now?
I feel 90 some days, especially after working on that car for the last couple days. Feeling kind of worn from all that. What's the weirdest thing I've ever brought home? Somebody wants to know. From me.
No. I don't know. There's been so many weird ones. I mean, no, there's been some weird stuff come home. Okay, I'll think about it. What do you think is the weirdest thing? Like, there's been some weird stuff. Like, to home or to the store?
Home.
I don't know. I mean, creepy stuff I don't like to come home. Like, nothing that's going to give me the heebie-jeebies. That's not allowed in my house. But
Well, we had like slot machines show up and just find a home on our counter for a
you
while.
think that that's weird?
No, but I mean,
What about that big head that, who did we give that to? Who has that?
that's the Archie head that Josh has.
The Josh, was that at home?
No, that wasn't here.
Oh, didn't we have something else?
These things happen
like-
so often she can't even think.
There are so many. It's funny when something like that does happen though, and you can't remember. Oh, I'll think of something.
Oh, Brenda. Pre-pregnancy celebration. Oh, for you, Brenda. Well, congratulations, Brenda, on your future baby. Hardy har har har.
Now we're gonna get weird stuff in the mail for babies.
Somebody says don't say yeehaw in New York. I don't know. I saw Crocodile Dundee and he was all like you know, being out back, and they were all right. Mind you, he got held up by knife point several times. Maybe I won't follow in Paul Hogan's footsteps there.
Anne said she's 48 with a 5-year-old. It's hard. You have the most adorable son of all time. Oh my goodness.
Who's that?
Anne.
Oh, okay. Oh, Anne's arts
Anne
wife.
Sproul.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have never in a million years guessed that you were 48 either. So, and I'm not just being nice.
Yeah, we are. Let's see, what is happening? There's just a lot of stuff going on this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what's happening tomorrow. I'm always excited about tomorrow.
The other swords.
I think I'm becoming ever more, I guess, considerate of the fact that my lifespan isn't all that long. Midlife crisis. What do you do when you already buy crazy sports cars and live an insane life? What's my midlife crisis going to be?
Oh.
I'm going to come home with a hot air balloon and a monocle. Guess what, honey? Climb the rope. We're going for a ride. And then she'll be like, psh, you know, up we'll go. I don't know what could really top, you know, being as crazy. I like the thought of being as crazy and out there as possible. That appeals to me.
That. You most definitely got that. Somebody's...
Oh, I should answer an actual question. Okay, Pierre is asking a question. How far along is the Rolls Royce? Okay, I have not talked about the Rolls Royce too much. It is out getting paint. They are quoting about a 30-day turnaround, which is fairly long, considering it doesn't need a whole lot of body work. But I took it to a very busy shop, and this is winter in Canada, so they're dealing with a lot of accidents right now. That's why it's taking a bit of time. That's fine, because I need longer than 30 days almost, because I have another car in my garage that I'm working on in the meantime. But the plus side is they're letting me go to the shop and do some videos when they get to certain points in progress, such as primer, bodywork, and so forth. I'll be able to do some update videos along the way. Really, I've ordered all the parts for the interior. The carpets, the seats are getting done.
Colorado Grammy wants to know, is the Rolls Royce farther along than Melissa?
I will laugh at these pregnancy jokes, and no, we are not having any more children. Our children don't want us to have more children, and that's a sign that you don't need more kids. The next babies that come into our lives will be grandbabies, and that's not going to be for quite a few years yet, after they're done college.
You better
and so
hear
forth.
that.
Yeah. Okay, so the Rolls is fairly far along. I basically am waiting on carpet and interior, so I thought, well, this is perfect timing for me to send it out for paint, because there's not too much I can do on it until the other parts come back in. So we're going to get it back from the paint shop, and then I'll put the carpet in, then I'll put the seats in, and then I'll put the door panels on after I make the windows. This is what the windows have to do. And the seats have to do this. All that has to happen before everything gets put back together. I do have some work to do on the car. It turns over just fine. I'm not worried about the Rolls running. I think the Rolls is going to be fairly easy to get started and get going. I bought one of these cars. I bought a Rolls Royce years ago for $4,000. It was in pristine condition. Silver Shadow, very much like the one I have, except it was a 4-door, not a convertible. A convertible is super cool, but the 4-door anyway. It had been sitting for probably 10, 15 years, about the same amount of time that this one's been sitting. And I bought it as a non-running car. The only thing I had to do was I had to kind of tweak the carburetor a little bit and tap the fuel pump, put some new gas in, and I was driving that car pretty much the next day. And I expect that this Rolls Royce that I've purchased, after we get the tank cleaned out, I'll be able to put the new fuel pump in that I've purchased and get it tuned up, and it'll be off and running. The brakes are working in it, which is a good sign, because the hydraulics are very complicated in those cars. So I think that it won't be too bad mechanically, which is why I'm kind of going ahead with the paint and the interior and all that stuff right now. But I'm expecting to have both cars, hopefully the Alpha and the Rolls Royce, up and running for summer. That's the goal.
So one question was, do you go back afterwards and check out the questions that you missed, like the comments?
No, I probably should, but I would say if there's anything that's really pertinent that you have to ask, either email me is probably the best way, or you can call us at the shop. I work the store. Like if you walk in my store on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, I'm sitting behind the counter selling stuff. A lot
of people are really surprised when they walk in the store that Alexander's there, or when they call the store, Alexander's on those days is the one that picks up. Otherwise, you get Sean.
And somebody phoned me and they said, "Is this Alex?" I went, "Yeah, it's me. You've reached Curiosity Inc." And they go, "Hi, I got that guy from YouTube on the phone." I can hear in the background, no, you don't. I'm like, I'm telling you I do. And I'm like, hello. And they're like, no, I'm for real. It's got the guy on the phone here. And I'm like, is there anything I can help with? And they're like, oh, I just wanted to tell you we watch your show and enjoy the program. And sometimes it's like, I've got a button that I found and I really don't know anything about it. What can you tell me? And so I'll try my best to tell or to give some advice. And we typically don't charge when somebody asks us questions for appraisals and that. It's only somebody needs something for insurance we'll ever charge for an appraisal. So we chat and we talk about things. And yeah, you come in the store or call on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm oftentimes hanging around. If I ever do a live feed from the store in the morning, you guys all get funny and you phone the store. Every time I do a live feed from the store, I'm like, so I'm live at the store right now. And then the phone starts ringing and somebody's like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, okay.
Brenda, you're wasting all your money on pesting me.
Okay, somebody had a question. Thank you, Brenda, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Somebody had a question about the meetup in New York. The meetup in New York is going to be at the Stagecoach Tavern in Manhattan on February 21st at 7 p.m. I expect maybe 15, 20 people or something will show up and we'll just kind of sit around and chat, and I'll try and work my way around the tavern there and chat with everyone. I am there because there's a big trade show happening. It's the annual toy fair in New York. And they have all kinds of wonderful things that go up at the toy fair. Like Lego is there showing off the new Lego sets that are coming out and all these cool products from other companies you might never have heard of. I'm going there not necessarily to look for the mainstream. I'm not going there to look for Hot Wheels or Barbies or stuff like that. I'm going to look for the oddball companies that maybe are making something really weird and really cool. You know, like, I've got a steam-powered hat that floats around in the room. I'm like, that's cool. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just invented something right now and I don't know. But I'm looking for strange things and unusual things that kind of fit with the nature of our store. So I'm going there, A, as a buyer for our business, and B, as a member of the press, because I can do a video on what a toy fair is all about, because I have a YouTube channel with subscribers on it, so they'll let me do that. So 2 reasons why I'm going there, and then I'll probably end up trying to find, if yes, it's at the Jacob Javits Center, someone's asking. Hopefully there's a cool antique mall or someplace I can go and check out. Somebody wrote me from Long Island, but that's a little far away for me to go. I'll probably try and find some places in Manhattan to go check out. I might go to Obscura Antiques, which is that oddities place that had their own TV show for a while. We'll see. Maybe we'll
Would we
check it
ever
out.
plan on visiting Quebec City?
Yeah, I would
I
love to
think
go to
Quebec City would be awesome.
I've-
I want to go.
If you're in Quebec, I've only been to Laval when I worked for a clothing store chain, and Laval wasn't the most scenic place because it's all factories. But I would love to go and get a proper, proper poutine and some proper Quebec food. Very historic city, and Quebec was the capital of New France, which went all the way down into Louisiana in the 1600s before the Louisiana Purchase. So it's an important part of North American history too. So I would love to go down there or over there. We should do that.
I think we should do that too. I want to go.
But my only thing was when I went to Quebec last, I went to Laval. They didn't speak English in a lot of stores, or they decided not to speak English in a lot of stores. So it was challenging for me because my French is very, very bad. I just know enough to say hello. I don't speak French. Bonjour, je parle pas français. That's about it. And then people are like, oh, okay, he can say that he doesn't speak French in French, which is just confusing to people. When you can say something in a language and it's clear and yet you don't speak the language, I think it makes it almost worse. So I'm going to be in New York on the 21st and 2nd and 3rd, I think. But the 21st we'll be doing a meetup at the Stagecoach Tavern. That's where Matthew's going to be there, live in person.
You know what? It's funny. I'm jealous that I'm going to miss the meetup, even if there's 10 people or 1 person.
I'm excited. I am. I did book my ticket to go to the Statue of Liberty. That's going to happen. I am going to try and get up to the Empire State Building. Those are 2 things that I kind of want to do. That's a beautiful, I love Art Deco for starters. You got to go to the Empire State Building. And the Statue of Liberty, it's a beautiful, a gift from France. It's beautiful architecture and sculpture. I know they've got another one in France, it's a smaller version of it. But I think, when you envision all the people who came to America for the first time and they saw Lady Liberty standing there and welcoming them onto the shores, it's just a very, I don't know, it's kind of it's a nice thought to think of all those hopes and dreams of people that were steaming into port or sailing into port. I'd like to just kind of take that in for my own reasons, not just to take in the beauty of the sculpture and the beauty of the gift itself that the French gave the Americans, but just that thought of being a newcomer and being welcomed, I think it's just going to be amazing.
You're gonna first. Thank you, Claire. Have a 5. Are you going to buy a car in New York? That's a good question.
No, I would never buy a car from New York because I've seen how New Yorkers park. And if you're from New York, you can't take offense to it because you guys are crazy parkers.
We were sitting in a restaurant when we went to New York, and we had a window where we were sitting, and we saw this. Was it a Hummer?
It was a lady in like a Yukon or
so
just
she
something
pulls
like
up,
that.
and the spot was too small, but she just hit the person in behind, and then the person in front, and then in behind.
Yeah,
until
bang,
she
bang, bang,
was
bang, bang, bang,
in.
bang.
And then she just got out like this was normal. Like
In Edmonton, where we live, you'd be calling the police if you saw that happening.
immediately. No, and it was just.
Yeah, and we told
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I think our waiter came back, right? And we're like, that lady just ran into like 2 cars over, and he was like, yeah, that's how we park here. Yeah.
But I mean, the vehicles weren't that bad of condition, though.
Oh, Brenda. Well, we really appreciate you, Brenda, as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so they park absolutely insane. That was my first thought is, wow, never buy a car from New York. I mean, they have the salt water there, and they drive like crazy people. I'm sure there's some good stuff, though. I mean, what Jay Leno found, like some Duesenberg in a garage parked in downtown New York at one point, I think. I would love... Hey, incidentally, I would love to see Jay Leno's collection at some point. I think that'd be really cool to go, hey, look, this Michelle Erdman sent you $5.
Where? Wait.
See, look.
Hey, Michelle, thank you. Fun fact, my dad was adopted, and his last name is Erdman. So
maybe a relative.
Maybe.
You never know. Yeah.
I think it was Erdman with 1 N, but I'm not positive.
Melissa is related to Erdman's.
Yeah.
There you go. Will Steven get the Alpha? Probably unlikely because I don't keep cars terribly long. Mind you, I've had the ambulance for like 4 years now. That's almost a record for me. It's almost like we're symbiotic.
Yeah, but you keep on trying to get rid of it, and I've kind of I like the ambulance because it fits everything in it. It has little things on the little clips in the ground so that he can put bikes in there.
It's a very useful vehicle.
But it's starting to rust a little bit, and it needs some care. But spring is coming. I think we should keep the ambulance. Guzzles gas though.
Melissa, what do you think of the looks of the car?
Of which one? The Alpha?
The Alpha.
It's nice. But I like being able to put all the kids in my vehicle. And I'm claustrophobic. So...
Well, it's a convertible. There's nothing above you.
I know, but it's all squishy. I know. He keeps saying that whenever we had... What was the last one that I was claustrophobic in? And we had with the old luggage.
Oh, I had an MGTD.
So he's like, how can you be claustrophobic? There is no roof on the car. And it's the squishiness. It's like the car hugging you the whole way. I'm good. I need like my space.
So you're not going to drive in the Isetta with me then, is what you're saying?
No, there's no chance. That will never happen.
It is like sitting inside of a steamer trunk and being shoved down the road.
I mean, that's something we tried to not say is never because it's...
I'm going to give you guys... this is the visual. If you want to know what it feels like to drive in the BMW Isetta, imagine back. I want to take you back to when you were children. And I want to take you back to when... you thought it was a good idea to go to the top of the hill with your wagon and your friend pushed you. In that moment that you started rolling and you instantly had regrets, that's what it feels like the entire time you're driving in a BMW Isetta. It's like this was supposed to be fun, but I might die. Ah! And then, you get to the bottom of the hill and you're like, well, that happened. And you might go do it again. That's pretty much what it feels like in that car. Like a death trap wagon at the top of a hill with poor steering.
Tiny cars are like sleeves. Melissa hates them. I'm wearing sleeves today, though. I'm freezing. Although my shirt underneath is sleeveless.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to have to really rethink what the fleet looks like. But we have, we don't want the chat to go too terribly long today.
Oh, the Cadillac is awesome, but the Ghostbuster car is the bomb.
Yeah, I need to get... thanks, Brenda. We need to get some. At some point, I'll do some body work on the ambulance. Basically, just the lower portion of the doors are starting a little bit of rust. So I might tear into that in a future video. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I just want to clean it up a bit so it doesn't rust out on me.
Did you have a gig? I think he means on Thursday. How was the gig? Bob asked.
Oh, the gig was fine. So Bob was in the store and I was practicing a couple songs pretty much off and on all day. And Bob had to hear me. subjected Bob to listening to my singing several times, trying to get the song right. And then I was gonna do Lou Reed's Perfect Day live, and there's a lot of weird chord changes, and it's kind of a difficult song. And I got it down, and I felt confident with it. And then when I got there to the coffee shop, and I was supposed to go up and play, they were doing a lot of kind of country songs, and I thought, well, nobody here is gonna know Lou Reed, so I did the Johnny Cash song, and went over well. He was like, well, that's got to be the best rendition I've ever heard, and he gave me like a pick, and he clapped and made a big deal out of it. It was really awesome. It was super nice. But it went well, is what I'm saying. It went well, and then people came up to the table after and said, good job. So I think I'm feeling a little bit more confident every time I play guitar in public or sing in public. I was always so shy, but it was kind of fun playing a live gig at an open mic place, where you just go up and do something way outside the norm for me.
So when I just remembered a question from before, Heather.
Somebody had a question.
Oh, sorry. Somebody had a question before. Do you feel like a celebrity? Like when they said first off, and no, that wasn't what they said. They said you underestimate your celebrity status when you say there might be 10 or 20 people. But do you consider yourself a celebrity?
I think that having a YouTube channel a little, I want to say later in life, because I'm over 40 now, I think you really come to appreciate things differently than if I would have come into a YouTube channel like this or had viewers and subscribers when I was younger. I think I'm very appreciative, and I also understand the temporary nature of a channel like this or a format like this.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel, no, of course I don't feel like a celebrity. I'm grateful for every single person that watches, and I'm grateful for the adventures I get to go on. And I think if anything, I feel conscious of the fact of how temporary it could be. And I'm just really taking all of it in and just enjoying every minute. And so when I meet somebody who watches the channel, I'm just as excited to meet you guys, and just as excited to meet you and learn your story as I would be for, I guess, you guys to meet us. So no, you don't feel like a celebrity whatsoever.
But we don't walk around everywhere. Like occasionally we'll get recognized. It's like kind of weird being recognized actually, because we have just regular lives. I got recognized in Costco, and they just assumed that we get recognized everywhere. That was the first person. But I agree with Alexander. I absolutely love hearing everybody's stories and your lives and the things that you're going through and what makes you happy and what you're passionate about. That is the best part about the YouTube community, and I think of just getting to know each other.
It's funny. The other thing is that we're not just when they say reality TV and they talk about reality TV shows, a lot of reality TV shows on TV are completely scripted, where what we do is we share our actual lives with you. And sometimes we edit and put them together and put them out there. But if somebody runs into us in public and they say, how's the Rolls Royce going? It's like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's over at the paint shop right now. It's not like
actually happening.
Some scripted episode or something. It's like somebody that knows what's going on in your life. Like somebody's gone through your mail when you weren't looking, and they're like, I see you didn't pay your phone bill. And you're like, well, I guess better get on that. People just know what's going on in your life. So It's not, I don't know, not really like a fan thing. It's just having people included in your lives. And in this world, you can decide to be inclusive or exclusive. And we've decided to be more inclusive with our channel and our lives and sharing with you the sorts of things we do. And not everybody, watches the channel, I guess, because they're into antiques or old cars. But we certainly appreciate every single person that joins us on this journey. And we're trying to encourage our kids to really just follow their dreams and to chase their talents and their ambitions.
And not stop at no.
Brenda says she owns a Hummer, never smashes into a parking space. I hook up the winch, pull the vehicle out of my way. Well, that's one way to do it.
That's more civilized. Most of us are civilized.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
As long as you don't park on top of other cars. I think that'd be the... So, any thoughts on Harry and Meghan Markle setting up in Canada? I don't know. Why not, right? They're looking at... It's smart. So somebody was asking what our thoughts are on the royal family moving to Canada, or I guess formerly known as Prince. He should just come up with a symbol like Prince did when he stopped being Prince, because that's what he's gonna have to do now. They are looking at North Saanich, I think, in Vancouver Island, which is where my aunt lived. And I've done several episodes from out in that area, going antiquing on Vancouver Island. I took my mom to the gardens out there. That's exactly the area where they're going to be living. And I think if you're going to live somewhere, that is like the tropical part of Canada. There's palm trees. It's very moderate weather.
Extremely beautiful.
And it's an island with a tiny little airport. So if you're going to that island, you have to really want to go to that island. It's not like you can just like be in a big city and be like, I'm going to take a 30-minute drive. It's like you have to get onto a ferry and go for an hour and get off the dock and go. So you have to really mean it. And then once you get, so I can understand the privacy there. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's nice properties. It's very family friendly in that part of the island too. There's lots of quaint little stores. The nice thing about Vancouver Island where they're living, which is funny because we have stayed in and know the area where Harry and Meghan Markle are going to be living. We know that area. We've gone for bike rides in that area. That's the area that we know. We have family that live, that would be neighbors to them. It's a beautiful area. And so I can understand why they would pick it because it's very pretty much all the time. The other thing is that BC has different privacy laws and you can't really be like paparazzi in British Columbia. It's against the law if they feel that you are invading someone's privacy and going above and beyond, just reporting. You can actually get charged with it as being a crime. So for their sake, it's probably beneficial to be in an area that has laws like that because it can protect them and their family. And in all honesty, if I was, they're in a position which I imagine is very difficult. I don't know why we're talking about royalty right now, but we are. I empathize with them because when you're born into something like that, it's like being born into a business that you could probably never leave and always having to put on a show and always having to wave a certain way. And if you just want to have a family and have a life, and you want to kind of escape that a little bit or do your own thing, that's probably a good place to do it.
Yeah, it's very true. It is being born into a business that you don't really have a say that you wanted to be a part of or not. You're born into it. But
I generally don't get into politics. Two things I don't talk about: politics and religion. I can talk about
people are very passionate and generally angry when it comes to those topics. So, and we try to very much keep things positive and respect everybody's opinions because it's your right to believe what you want to believe in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, people are coming to this channel more for, watching some guy open up boxes of antiques and stuff. They don't care what my political or religious views and that are. And that's not important to this channel anyway. We're just encouraging people to be generally kind to each other and to have fun and live your lives to the fullest, which I think crosses over to a lot of different religions and backgrounds. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Okay. We are, let's see, I'm going to try and answer a couple more questions before we call it a night here because it's been an extra long live feed today.
Pamela, thank you before we go for all the times that you said, please subscribe and hit the like button.
Yes, much appreciated.
And of course to Matthew for all the moderating and posting the links and everything. And for all of you coming along with us and posting questions and being a part of this Saturday night party at our house.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a drawing. Somebody said you should do a drawing of the Isetta and put it on a t-shirt or something. I have to get more on top of my my merch. We have some stuff on Teespring right now, but I hardly do anything with it. What are they going to do for work? I don't know. Lawn maintenance? No, I imagine they'll probably have, they could do anything. Yeah. I imagine they'll probably have all sorts of public appearances.
I feel like they're not going to do anything.
Okay. Putting the Isetta on a t-shirt's not a bad idea. The car's so small, I could make it 1-to-1 scale. You could have a full-size Isetta and just wrap yourself with it, and that would be that. It is such a tiny little car. It's literally like a tiny little cube. I love it. Of all the cars I have, I like the stupid Isetta is one of my favorite things that I own because it's just fun and happy and ridiculous. And whoever designed that car, I know that they were trying to be practical, but it's just a cute little thing. It just makes me super happy.
When we had, what was it that Carl had come and pick the car up from the tow truck company?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was the rolls when he was picking the rolls up.
Yeah.
When I opened up the garage, he's like, well, wasn't expecting that. When he saw like the little Isetta tucked into the corner.
Oh, yes. By the way, so people are asking about the bowling. Canada has two types of bowling.
This was the most common question I had, and I didn't even know that everybody didn't have two bowling. was enlightened.
We have the American traditional Fred Flintstone style with the holes in the ball that you guys
10-pin.
are used to, 10-pin.
Yeah.
We've got that. We have
It
that.
rips my arms off. Look at these tiny little arms.
But we also have 5-pin bowling, which in parts of the US and other parts of the world is referred to as duck pin, I believe. It's the same length of alley, but there's 5 pins and the ball is a little smaller. You actually just hold it in your hand like a
And you
shot put
pray
almost.
that when your hands are sweaty, when you put your arm back, you're not flinging the ball behind you. I haven't done it yet, but I'm terrified every single time.
Yeah, so if you watch Melissa's channel, you'll see her last video. We
Thanks
go
for
bowling.
watching that episode.
Yeah, she did better than anybody. She owned.
That was lucky though. So to be in all honesty, I'm not a good bowler. There's like I get to the get to the line, I throw the ball, cross my fingers, and hope it doesn't go directly into the gutter. And I asked Alexander, I'm like, can you get me some footage of me bowling? And he's like, sure. And sure enough, that was when I threw a strike. What are the chances of that?
More and more, I think I appreciate sports where you can have a table and nachos.
That was like,
Where you're like, it's not my turn to like go up to bat. So I'm just like, you don't see that in baseball too much where the guy's like, he's not doing anything. He's like waiting for his turn to go swing the bat and he's down like, what are you doing down there? I'm eating some nachos and some fried pickles right now. That doesn't
but I
happen
wish
too much.
that, like, because we don't eat a lot of fried food, I did not feel the best after that experience. But I mean, if they offered,
It's social though.
yeah, it's social.
I think darts, you've got darts and bowling, which
Fried
okay,
pickles, though, burns your tongue off.
if you drink in your bowling, you make a fool of yourself. If you drink and you're playing darts, you become dangerous. And I've
Yeah.
been to places where they have the dartboard right by a table and people are drinking, not a good combination. But I do appreciate the fact that you can have a leisurely evening and just kind of chill out. Next time we watch a hockey game, we'll look over and see I'll be eating like snacks and bags of chips and nachos and stuff over there. Probably not super healthy, but yeah, I don't know, it was fun.
If anybody, make sure if you would like us to know your names, and it's not your name as your handle, make sure to put it in, because sometimes I'm curious. I see a lot of you all the time, and I would love to know your actual names so that I could address you as a person.
What if
not
their
just
name
your
is Handel?
Oh, brother.
Like Joseph Handel.
Like that. I know, I was just saying because somebody left me a nice comment about me becoming a YouTuber. G Fixler. I'm guessing your name starts with a G and your last name is Fixler.
I think John's asking about Steven adding merchandise for his. I think once his channel is monetized, which incidentally I'm going to plug for Steven, his channel. Go to Steven Draws on YouTube and please subscribe and watch his videos. He's very close to being an official YouTube channel. I think he needs 500 more watch hours, which if a whole bunch of people on here go there and watch, he'll probably get there. Once that happens, he can monetize his channel, and we're trying to encourage him that this, you know, versus going and working at a fast food place or something like that, which is a good job too, but for a young person, this is a way for him to earn money and do something he's really loves and is passionate about. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be his part-time job. And yes, if he does get to that spot, he'll be able to put merchandise up and have a channel. So let's hope that can all happen. So Steven Draws on YouTube. But yeah, I guess we'll probably cap it off here because this is, I think, the longest live feed we've ever done, and it's happened really quickly.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how long we've been on actually.
We've been on for 87 minutes of us chatting.
Oh my goodness. And some of you I saw on Steven's channel earlier watching, or on his Instagram, also under Steven Draws, and he was doing a live. So you guys, your eyes are going to start to hurt.
No, taxes, people are asking about taxes and stuff. You know, it's not tax-free. You do have to pay taxes on it, but being a minor, there's different rules and regulations here. But
well, once you hit a certain amount regardless, though, you still have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
But I don't.
So for those of you in the New York area, come out and say hi on the 21st of this month at the, oh, and somebody just, that flew by. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Steven's gonna be pretty thrilled. That's really awesome. For any of you that are in the New York area, come by and say hello on the 21st at the Stagecoach Tavern at 7 p.m. Where I'll be there awkwardly hanging out like a wallflower waiting to meet people I've never met before. But I will say hello and visit, and we'll have a good time, and we'll chat about things, and yeah, I'll have a good adventure in New York. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you all very soon. And keep staying tuned for more videos. More videos to come on both of our channels and on Steven's channel too.
That's right.
Well, have a good night, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.